again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your last International East qualifier of the day. This is for all the marbles. Whoever loses here will be sent home. Whoever wins here has the right to compete against the juggernaut that is Tongfu, so there's a lot at stake. Everybody is fighting desperately. Tooth, claw, and nail for that spot, for that trip, for the right to compete for $1 million. A lot is at stake, and will we see AEON go back to that pudge? It's World Elite probably not going to ban it on the first stage. The pudge did work for them, and World Elite won the toss-up here. They elected to go with the Dire. AEON elected to go with the first pick. Morphling gets the ban right away. I wonder if we'll see an anti-mage as well. If we do, then that's going to leave a lot of other strong heroes in the pool.
We'll see what they want to do. I definitely expect them to ban out the winner. They banned it the last 2 games. It's a hero, as previously mentioned, that these teams love to use, and I think Chinese teams have just decided, let's ban it out. They use it a bit too well, and it's just too much in their comfort zone. Queen of Pain has been the first pick material the last couple of games as well. AEON have really liked that hero, and as you mentioned, Anti-Mage, of course, the big carry left in the pool. We'll see if it gets banned out, or if World Elite continue just to ban out those jungle heroes. I mean, they've liked to ban out the Enchantress. They actually picked the Chen up last game, but for the most part, they don't want to allow too much aggressive jungler, especially that Enchantress through. Although, when AEON did have the Enchantress, it was against Tongfu where they had the Enchantress with an aggressive ganking lineup. I think it was Enchantress and Prophet, which didn't work out too well for them. So maybe it's something we see slipping through again here, and World Elite try to do like Tongfu did and just deal with it as best as they can.
So far, a very slow draft. Invoker is available. Shadow Shaman actually got banned last game. Even though he was not enough for WE to win game number 1, it was one of the more effective heroes. Will he get banned out again? Morphling may be the hero that gets banned in his place. Invoker is the second ban. I'm curious, what is AEON angling for? Maybe it's that Queen of Pain, maybe it's that Windrunner. They had the choice between Windrunner and Queen of Pain last game. They opted for the Queen of Pain, and that was a fantastic start for King. He had such a dominating performance in the lane. It wasn't enough to win them the game, but maybe if Windrunner isn't there to sort of turtle up nicely, if the Chen's not there, maybe that Queen of Pain can have what it takes to push them over the hump. They've also elected to go with a Sand King 2 games in a row now. In the game number 1, I forget who played it, but in game number 2, it was tsuwamon. Chen gets the ban. Enchantress is available. If WE wants to go with that jungler, they'll have the Enchantress, but I think that Chen is going to be he's a much stronger jungler if you have to turtle. His creeps are going to be up. You can always send your allies back to base, and that global heal is so powerful for keeping heroes alive. So even if they give away Enchantress, I don't think it's as much of a game-breaking hero in the late game, which it seems like WE generally favors.
Oh yeah, and especially if you consider the hero that they're probably most likely to first pick game, which is the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain, you can just instant burst down a hero like Enchantress, whereas Chen, you've got the heals, the mech, and the Hand of God, which is just so strong against a hero like Queen of Pain. That's partly why I think AEON's lineup last game was not as effective as it could have been, because of that Chen having all those heals against that Radiant team, and we're going to see, I mean, they might go for the Enchantress here, but they're not going to be looking to pick it up early on as a strong jungle hero. I mean, it does not really fit World Elite's style. More than anything, they may in fact ban it, afraid that AEON could get it as their second or third pick here. We will see the Sand King, though, being banned out by World Elite, deciding they've had enough of that. It has been picked the last 2 games, once as a support, once in a farming role, played by tsuwamon in that second game. So it is, Darkseer, and it has not been banned or picked, and for the first time today, we're going to have a, well, I don't know, but it wasn't in the first 2 games, I don't think, from what you told me, so we're going to have a Darkseer picked.
I'm trying to remember if we've seen AEON play Darkseer before in this tournament. Oh, the Windrunner Queen of Pain opening, they give it away, and those are both 2 heroes that AEON would love to have. Still, there is an Earthshaker available. That may be the direction that AEON goes in, but they don't have that Morphling to pair with the Earthshaker for that nice double AoE nuke combination. Darkseer is a very powerful hero, but when you give away 2 of your two heroes that are kind of signature heroes for your own team, is it worth it? We'll have to see. Klink's also available, is very strong in the laning stage, I would say, against either of these heroes, especially against the Windrunner. Such a strong harassing hero, and that silence is really effective come the mid-game for locking down both of these intelligence heroes who rely on their spells to survive and to do damage. So I would not be surprised at all to see a Klink's pick, maybe coupled with an Earthshaker.
Oh, we need something here like that, just to give AEON some strong lanes, as well as I think this is one of those games. You've got the winner and Queen of Pain. I mean, AEON love to play aggressive, love to sort of catch things by surprise, but against winner and Queen of Pain, you just can't do that. And that's why these 2 picks are just going to really disrupt what AEON want to do here. And I think they need to pick up the Earthshaker, because if they give Earthshaker as well to World Elite, well, they're going to be in a world of pain, and they're going to go for the Crystal main, so they're going to get one of their support heroes that here. They're going to get the DK as well. That's a hero they're very comfortable with as sort of a carry or semi-carry, and I'd say this is more going to be looking at it's a style AEON use every now and then where they just go for that mid-game push. They get the mech in the pipe. They get these tanky, hard-to-kill heroes, and that's going to limit Winner and Queen of Pain's damage if they have the mech in pipe. And there's your Earthshaker for World Elite. They're going to continue having that great synergy with this team, and we'll see whether or not AEON can out-DPS it.
Well, one thing you can expect in the second banning stage, World Elite will be banning a Death Prophet. They are not going to give away that Dragon Knight Darkseer Death Prophet combination. So AEON's not going to have that to work with. Is there another hero who can fill that role? In terms of being a pusher who also offers a lot of team fight, a lot of damage. The silence being a decent way as well to lock down that Queen of Pain and Windrunner. I'm not sure if there's another hero that really fills that void quite as well as the Death Prophet does. Maybe a Leshrac. Maybe a Leshrac, although he might also get banned out. Panda is the ban, a smart ban here. Well, before you answer that, there's a Syllabear as well. I wonder if World Elite is thinking about that.
They're probably considering it. They've used it every now and then. I like the Brewmaster ban. That's a hero World Elite have used. And I imagine we'll see, heroes like the Death Prophet, maybe even the Clinks being banned out as well because of the sort of mid-game push strategy that AEON do like to use here. Pudge is going to be the first ban, so a bit of more respect going tsuwamon's way. And we will see what is going to be the last few bans coming out here, as this is going to be hard for World Elite to stop. At the same time, they've got the right heroes to do so if it is going to be a tough push coming from AEON.
A very, very tough push indeed, and it's got to be the Death Prophet, right? I'm not sure what AEON's going to ban here, but I feel like if they give away that Death Prophet, AEON might be unstoppable come mid-game. They have pretty strong lanes already. Dragon Knight, Crystal Maiden, Darkseer, pretty strong in the lane stage. They ban out the Night Stalker. A decent ban, although I don't know that Night Stalker was really a super threatening hero for them. But if they want to go for someone that's very reliant on spells, then it makes a lot of sense. Enigma is the ban, so Death Prophet slips through. Will AEON pick it up now? That's the question that is burning through my brain at the moment. It's available, and I think it fits. I really do.
Yeah. As do I. I think World Elite are just confident that they can burst it down. I mean, you're the Fissure Power Shot followed up by a Queen of Pain initiation. They're probably more confident that they can kill a hero like Death Prophet than maybe a hero like Enigma who can just sit back, have that mech with the pipe up, and just use that to sort of keep the team alive. So maybe they just want to ban out one of the sort of those utility item buyer heroes, as I will see what AEON want to get as this fourth pick. Maybe they'll even go for a hard carry. With that said, Anti-Mage is still in the pool. You have to remember they could always run the DK as a solo bid. We did see DK and Anti-Mage in the hands of World Elite, although that ended up coming to bite them in the ass back in Game 1. So I don't think AEON will be too inclined to go that route. Although it is World Elite who could easily fit in the Anti-Mage into their line. They've got the Windrunner and Queen of Pain as potential solos. They could run the Earthshaker, protecting the Windrunner and maybe Anti-Mage in a dual lane or something if they want to go that route. And we will see Shadow Shaman being taken by AEON, so it is going to be a mid-game push. At least it appears that way. Shadow Shaman can solo that mid lane if they want the early farm, early levels, and you can get the fast arcane boots with a blink dagger, provide the initiation as well, if that's the route that AEON do want to take.
The Shadow Shaman solo mid. We've seen a lot of support Shadow Shaman, a lot of the Chinese teams like to run that. We haven't seen much solo mid Shadow Shaman recently. He really struggles against dual lanes. He's also pretty squishy, easily ganked off. He does not have an escape mechanism. A good fissure block could mean the death for him, especially if there's a Queen of Painman with that Shadow Strike, the burst damage as well. If it's a solo mid Shadow Shaman, they're really going to have good ward coverage. They're going to have to be on top of their in-game communication. Will AEON go for a hard carry? They still have that. I guess they sort of have the option, but if you look at how are they going to lane this if they do that? I mean, we could see a support Shadow Shaman and a tri-lane DK. You could see a DK solo mid and Shadow Shaman Crystal Maid supports in the safe lane, and then I guess you have room to fit in maybe an Anti-Mage, something like that Darkseer in the off lane almost certainly. I feel like for AEON they could fit in a hard carry, but maybe it's not the best fit. But then again, what other direction do you go?
Well, I mean, there's a Death Prophet. That's the way they're going to go, and
there you go.
It looks like it is going to be Shadow Shaman as a support, unless they want to run something a bit more obscure like the Darkseer in the jungle, and then they can have the Shadow Shaman, the DK, and the Death Prophet each in one of the three lanes. But I think Death Prophet as a side lane solo is their best option here, and Venomancer, a great counter pusher coming out from World Elite. I think that was Tong Fu who used the exact same thing when they were up against AEON. They just put down as many Venomance wards as possible and just managed to hold towers with relative ease because of it.
If I recall correctly, in that game, AEON did not have the Death Prophet and the DK combo. They also did not have a Darkseer. These are some heroes that can really just sort of throw you for a loop. The Silence from the Death Prophet, the Sudden Stun from the DK, the Vacuum from the Darkseer. Spells that are so difficult to deal with properly. Worldly is going to have perfect position if they get caught out. We could easily see them getting picked off. With that being said, who's going to be playing what? That is the question. Tsuwamon is going to be on that Darkseer. So it looks like he will be in the off lane. And hey, what better here is there to play Tsuwamon on than that Darkseer? Because, Tsuwamon loves to initiate first team, loves to be the one setting the pace, the tempo, and a Vacuum is probably the best way to do it in terms of sucking in every single enemy hero. He's going to have a tough time in this laning stage, though. I'm not sure exactly what the lanes will be. Actually, well, they're heading to the lanes now. It's going to be a Windrunner Earthshaker dual lane down bottom. Very strong defensive lane. We've seen AEON use the same dual lane to great success on their own. Queen of Pain farming up in the safe lane.
Yep.
And a dual
and
lane.
it looks like, with Queen of Pain soloing against this Dark in the top lane, that's a lane where Darkseer will see a lot of harass coming his way. We're going to have DK, Slaughter, the two melees at mid.
Gods, you're getting real metallic. Let me call you back.
Yeah, I was about to have the same thing happening my way as well.
30 seconds to battle.
Hello, welcome back.
Alright, much better. It was happening on my end there as well. I thought it was my internet for a second.
Worldly is maybe wanting to ward off this pull, but for the moment that will not be permitted. It is going to be a Shadow Shaman, Death Prophet, Crystal Maiden tri-lane, at least for starters. Expect to see this Crystal Maiden rotate mid. Once they see it's going to be a dual lane mid. Oh, they are going to catch out the Windrunner who's checking the rune. She takes a bunch of harassment. She is going to be forced to pop the salve early, so a bit of a win there. Double damage rune. Top. Is anyone going to go for it? Looks like for the moment nobody will, but both teams have to realize it's there. The Radiant had vision, of course, from this hill, and the Dire have a ward covering that rune. Plus they actually had a Windrunner run past it. But nobody going for it yet. I'm surprised. Venomance are probably going to go soon. This is going to be a very, very tough lane for the DK. He might be able to survive, as I say. Oh, initiation onto Icy. There's the Crystal Maiden. Quick rotation mid. One more auto attack would have done it. Not going to be quite enough. And here we go. God's dropped from the call. Hey, buddy.
Alright, let's hope this third time's the charm. I'm back in, but I'm not sure for how long. But yeah, it's dual lane. They switched to a dual lane versus dual lane at mid. It looked initially, we'll see a melee versus melee with DK and Slaughter, but both Venomance and Crystal Maiden have rotated. So fairly even matchups all across the board in some ways. You've got solo versus solo at top with the Darkseer versus Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain probably has an advantage, and here comes the game. ES looking for a fissure at mid lane.
And this is the power of that Earthshaker. They gave away a lot of heroes they like to run. They've used to great success, and will they be punished by them now? We're going to have to wait and see. I'm sort of holding my breath here with anticipation. Is it going to be a good fissure block or a bad one? Could easily screw over some of his teammates, especially the Slaughter, if the fissure is not well placed. For the moment, tsuwamon is doing okay up top. He's starting to chew through his regen, but not in an alarming rate. Gale is going to miss on nuts. The fissure is going to come through his anyway. A decent fissure, not absolutely perfect, though. And Anna is going to survive, so the jig is up. A failed gank. And while this is happening, Windrunner is struggling a bit on the bottom lane. Trading blows with Mr. Keo. The King is getting free farm, already hitting level 3. When you rotate an Earthshaker around like this in the early game, you really want to have every fissure turned into a kill. He's got 2 clarities left, so he's got about 2 or 3 more chances here. But after that, he's going to have to head back mid. Ken, there's the second fissure. That's a good one. Stun onto the Slaughter, but I think that's only delaying the inevitable. I believe Ken will be our first blood. The Crush coming through as well. DD picked up all the Crystal Maiden, the Nova as well, but just not enough damage. Frankly, if you're AEON, you just got to play safe. Once you see that Earthshaker, you should not be sitting down in the river. Sloppy play by AEON. They are quite tired at this stage of the night. They've been playing for like 4 or 5 hours already. So you can't really blame them, but still, it's a kill they cannot afford to give up.
Yeah, I mean, they already had him come in once, and then he just walked right back into the jungle. They never saw him at bottom lane. He could definitely still just been staying in the same position, and that he was. Shadow Shaman at bottom has helped out this Krob to get off to a nice early start with 11 CS, just 6 on the Windrunner. But for the most part, AEON, that first blood is going to get them a early gold deficit, as we will see Slaughter with a fastball. He didn't actually get the kill for that, but just with pure CS, he has got it. Venomancer got the last hit for it, and they're going to go right back in. Stun on DK at mid. What is happening at bottom? Death Prophet sounds like is in trouble. I'll let You take over as CM. Will deny the DK at mid, and it looks like Death Prophet, you mentioned, has actually survived and gotten killed.
Wow, she was so low, I looked away mid because you said there was action happening there, so in the end, AEON actually a huge turnaround for them. They do give up another death on this DK, and DK is having a horrible start. It looks like he wanted to rush a bottle, and somehow he's got no gold now and no bottle. That is a horrible... Actually, no, sorry, he does have the bottle. Okay, so he's getting something going his way. 14 CS on that Death Prophet, but look at Chan on that Queen of Pain. 17 and 10 already. tsuwamon is 9 and 1. He's doing okay, but this Queen of Pain is off to a fantastic start. They're not done yet. Mid, still more initiation. Ken not able to get that Dragon Tail off. If he did, I believe that would have been a dead slaughter. It's been very back and forth. Still pretty even, but in terms of the gold graph, it is going to be a 500 lead for the Dire, mostly on the back of that first blood.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That first blood does give him a nice little boost here. But I mean, AEON, they've got that kill at mid lane, and also denied a kill with that CM as well. So really, it's only just the one kill that has been. It's a 1-to-1 kill at the moment for both these teams because of that deny. Although it is DK, no farm, and just a bottle in his hands at the moment, and Slada doing much better than him in this mid lane and not having gone down as of yet. Shadow Shaman, though, is getting some XP and levels using this creep pulse here, doing a bit better than this Earthshaker, as Earthshaker actually deciding to roam top. I like this decision. That's a hero that they can set up a killer, and that's a lane which at the moment is somewhat in the balance. I mean, Queen of Pain is winning it, but Queen of Pain's not going to be able to get a kill on her own. And if you can get a kill from an ES, that's when the lane will really start to sort of tip heavily into Queen of Pain's favor.
Oh, Slither and Crush fails. Ken has the Dragon Tail. He is going to pop it. There's the Gale, though. So hard to actually kill a hero with that Gale on you as you are quite slow. Another Slither and Crush. Ken should be okay. He's taking a bunch of damage, and while this is happening, Shadow Shame gets a pick off mid, or bottom lane, rather. Another kill onto this Windrunner. They're doing quite well here. Shadow Shaman is still only level 4. Death Prophet is level 6. And as soon as Shadow Shaman hits level 6, they can easily start mowing down towers with the wards, as well as the Death Prophet ult. You probably only need one of those ults to get the towers. So in theory, if you use both, you should be able to get 2. At the very least, a tower per ult combo. That's going to be a powerful push, a pushing combination for them. They don't... that being said, WE is a lot of anti-push. They have a lot of spammable AoE. And of course, they have those Venomancer wards. They're actually passing the bottle around here. Nice little trick by WE, sharing those resources. After all, it is a team game. Up top, Darkseer, tsuwamon driven back to base. I saw smoke on somebody, I believe it's the Crystal Maiden. Might be looking to get aggressive, and I'm not sure where he'd go. Maybe top lane? Not an easy kill.
Yes, will get spotted out here. ES in a bit of trouble. He comes in with a ward and just runs right at this Crystal Maiden. Going to drop down the Fissure. Slada is not going to drop the sprint too far away. Looks like there won't be any follow-up kills. As World Elite just, I mean, they're pretty happy with their position in this mid lane, looking just to hold their ground, have the vision with the Plague Ward, so it's unlikely that they can be ganked now, especially with that Observe Ward just being planted on the high ground above the tower as well. But it's top lane. Here comes attempt number 2 on Darkseer's life from the Earthshaker. If they get a nice Fissure block, it could be a kill. And ES, he's not, I think he missed it. Yet he didn't quite land it. He was not close enough, and it didn't get the full block, so Queen of Pain not going to get that kill.
It's a level 1 Earthshaker. Okay, as I said that, he just got level 2. Very under-leveled, although he has set up his team for great success. Compare that to AEON, level 4 Crystal Maiden, and a lot of the other core heroes hitting that level 5, 6, 7 mark. So this Earthshaker is really struggling. He is benefiting his team, but AEON are having a significant level advantage here. If I take a look at the XP graph, you have 1,500 for them. The gold graph, a lot more even, but it is a 200 lead going the Dire way. If you look at AEON's lineup, they're very level dependent. They do have sort of that timing aspect to them, where if you can get up level 6, 7, 8, maybe even head towards the level 2 ultimates at the 11 level mark, that could be a great time for them to start going for these aggressive pushes, maybe some smoke ganks, and really bully WE into submission. We'll have to see, but AEON is getting that experience that they so desperately need now, especially on the Shadow Shaman. He's getting very close to that ultimate.
No, absolutely, and once he gets that, that's when we'll see the tower start dropping. I mean, you can look at AEON and say that, oh, they haven't really pushed or pressured any towers yet, and they've got this pushing line, but then it's all about the timing for it. They need to get some early game and farmers. They are going to go on the Queen of Pain. Vacuum is there. No Frostbite. Nice ES Fissure. The Queen of Pain ulti. The Frostbite does go down. A Queen of Pain for a CM. Not a bad trade, and Darkseer is not done. He's just going to use that Iron Shell to do a lot of damage, but here comes Slada. He's in trouble. The Surge not going to get him away because he does get Slither and Crush, and ES, no mana, but there's the Bash. Vacuum as well being dropped, and he's going to go down with the help of a Slada Bash.
I think that's an okay trade. They did give up 2 heroes, but they shut down. They killed the Queen of Pain, and that's a really important kill because she was getting totally out of hand with their farm. It also forced Slardar off the middle lane, so during that time he's not farming. To have a Slardar gank this early, I mean, it's really not ideal. Slardar is a hero that needs a couple of core items to get going. He's not like a Pudge where you just really need boots, maybe a bottle and an urn, and you're set to go. You know, or similar to a Night Stalker. Death Prophet ult is pop bottom. Shadow Shaman wards are not yet up. He needs one more creep. And boy, is he going to want those wards. Haste were picked up by that Slardar. More aggression, more ganking coming out. Oh, he really needs that level 6. Mr. Keo, get a creep. He's got level 6, but will he get the wards off? Is the question. He drops the wards. The silence as well. Will it be enough? They get 1 kill. They're still alive, but down they both go. Just a little bit too much damage. If they had the wards to start that fight, they could have easily turned it around. And if you're Aeon, I mean, it's after that 6-minute mark. They don't have any wards up. This is normally something you expect teams to be doing if they're on top of their game, is rewarding after that 6-minute mark.
That was so close. I mean, you got to feel for him. Veno and Rina both on sub 100 HP with no mana left. They threw everything they could. The ward's just not quite enough. And that death problem, I mean, with that ultimate, if he just stayed alive a bit longer, he would have started to heal up once it did expire, and then it would have turned things around. But top lane, CEM being surged away will go down. Does pop the magic wand, keeps her alive a bit longer, but this Shadow Strike damage should be more than enough, as CM will drop as much damage as possible. Meanwhile, Darkseer, Death Prophet, and Shadow Shaman have made their way all 3 to the top lane. Going to start looking to pressure down some of these towers here, but without those Serpent Wards, it's not going to be the easiest of tasks, not to mention the Exorcism still on cooldown as well.
Ken has not left this middle lane. Actually, the tower gets denied mid. Although the tower was denied, they did knock the tower down, and it is a bit of a gold loss there, about 500 total, a little bit more, but getting down these early towers is important versus a lineup like WE, because once they all hit level 7 or so, get those maxed out Plague Wards, as well as all the nukes being maxed out, it's going to be very hard to continue the pushing without some additional items. They could just spam down creep waves like no other. As strong as Aeon's push is, WE's anti-push is, if not equally strong, then quite close to being so. Ken, he hasn't really left mid. He's only sitting on 30 CS, 3 CS a minute, not what you want to see. Actually, WE are not farming particularly well. And in fact, it's Aeon who are leading the farm wars, so still Dire keeping a bit of a lead thanks to those kills. It's neck and neck here. Aeon, it feels like they're playing a little sloppy, but they're still very close in this game.
Well, and Aeon will pull away, I mean, because they should, in theory, be able to get towers. I mean, there's not much Water Elite can do to defend, so this is going to have to be Water Elite just doing the best they can to keep their towers up as much as possible. And that's going to hurt. That really hurts. These denies, it's the 2nd one in a row, and they're going to maybe lose CM as well. So World Elite are not only denying towers, they're getting kills. And this is what they need to do against this Aeon side, because Aeon are going to get tower after tower. It goes without saying, Aeon, they're ahead, they're slightly behind at the moment, but they're going to get ahead in goal. It's not going to be something because they're ahead necessarily in the overall game. It just can't be avoided that they take towers. But World Elite just need to make sure they get the best trades possible, get some towers of their own, get some farm, and Winner is doing that at bottom lane, taking out a tier 1 tower at the moment.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman and Death Prophet both TPing in bottom. The ultimates are back up for... Well, the ultimate's back up for the Shadow Shaman, and if he wants to make... Oh, Icy is going to make a go on him. Gale to start, ult to follow. Mr. Keel will probably die here, but he might be able to turn this one around. He's not going to drop all the power shot cleaning him up. He didn't drop the wards there. You know, generally you like to see wards going towards tower kills, but still another kill going the way of World Elite, who continue to rack them up, over doubling the kill score of Aeon. And it feels like Aeon is a bit unprepared for the aggression that World Elite is throwing their way. World Elite just seem a little more refined, a little more prepared. If you look at the wards right now, just such good vision of everything that Aeon are doing at the moment.
Yeah, and this is it. This is do or die. I mean, Aeon need a... I mean, they're tired, they're exhausted. It's been a long day for them, but this is game number 3. This is their final hope to get to Seattle. They have to win this game. And that's just to get to the grand final. So they need to dig deep and just get this push happening, get those items up, the mech, the pipe, and really just start to put the pressure on. I mean, but right now, you mentioned they're slightly leading the farm, but they haven't actually got many items to show for it. They haven't taken as many towers as they should. They've mostly been denied. And are we going to see another deny? No, the Radiant do get this bottom tier 1 tower. Darks is still at top, just farming away. I like that he hasn't joined up just yet, because he is a bit behind. He needs to get either a pipe or a mech up for his team. He's probably going to be the one going for that. Actually, he might be the one going for the mech if DK goes to the pipe. We'll see just how they want to do this, if they even are going for the pipe and mech. But right now, Aeon just need to dig deep.
Dig deep is a perfect way to put it. Yeah, I don't see how you can not go for a mech and a pipe this game. They've opted for that double BKB strategy in the past. on the Death Prophet as well as the Dragon Knight, but they had a much better start in the game where they did so. Death Prophet could look towards a BKB now, but the Dragon Knight in particular is really lagging in terms of farm. Only power treads complete on him at the moment, and are going for a smoke gank of their own. World Elite did this so frequently last game with so much success. Will they be able to replicate World Elite's success? They're heading all the way top. I think this could work out into a kill for Slardar. We'll have to see. tsuwamon, I believe he's baiting here. This could be 2 kills, actually. Chan gets silenced. Will he get locked down? Yes, he does. Slardar all the way out. He's got sprint for about 10 more seconds or so. I think he'll get away. But with that kill, AEON can transition directly to a push. No Death Prophet ultimate. I believe they have the wards on Shadow Shaman. Yes, they do. Also, no DK ultimate. So 2 of their 3 pushing tools are down at the moment. Still, the wards are going to be dropped. It's going to be wards on wards, but they didn't do it at the right time. There's no creep wave, and those are just going to be farmed up.
That was poor time. They wanted to clear the next creep wave before they dropped him. And as a result, they do get wasted. And I think this push is over. Not to mention CM doing some offensive warding, but gets caught out. And that's bad for 2 reasons. 1, CM is dead. And 2, they now know that ward is there.
Oh, Gale is going to hit him. Ken, he's probably going to go down here again. He's actually dodging away. I think he expected the Dragon Tail there. He's going to get cleaned up by the power shot. There's that Windrunner. Death Prophet ult is popped. I think Icy will go down, but at what cost? Mr. Keo is going to go down as well. And now it's a 4-on-1 situation. Oh, actually, I say that tsuwamon is in the back lines, but no ult up for him. The King, he will be focused down. He's going to go down, and tsuwamon can do nothing but retreat out. 4 heroes dead. It's looking kind of rough here. A shackle shot not going to latch. There's something going AEON's way. But they're not fighting with their ults in unison. They also don't have a Darkseer ult yet. And if you look at this AEON lineup, they are very contingent on Darkseer getting off some good vacuums. Aside from that, there's no real AoE. They do have the lockdown of the Dragon Tail, the single targets nukes of the Shadow Shaman as well as the Crystal Maiden. But there's no big AoE setup spell for things like Ether Shock, Dragon's Breath, the Nova, the nukes of the Death Prophet. If they can combo it all together, it's a lot of burst, but without that vacuum, without that wall, it feels like it's not enough.
Oh, you've definitely, but at the same time, you cannot call AEON out of this game if they do combo that together well. If they just structure their push a bit better so that they aren't wasting those Serpent Wards and they're going when they have all their ultimates ready. So if World Elite engage, they just stand their ground, pop their ultimates, and more importantly, they need the mech in the pipe. Right now, it looks like they're not really pushing with them. We're going to have Death Prophet with a Vitality Booster starting to build towards a BKB. We're going to have no mech in sight. It's just going to be a pipe coming for Darkseer. I don't know where the mech's going to come from. Maybe even Darkseer going to get both those 2 items here, unless Shadow Shaman wants to be the one who does get the mech, like we saw last game World Elite doing with their Shadow Shaman.
It's been a pretty passive couple of minutes here since that last engagement. Look at all the Venomancer wards. So aggravating to push against. An Ion Shell will not work on the... It takes tsuwamon like 4 right clicks just to bring a single ward down. And Venomancer can place them faster than he can destroy them. You just can't push against the Venomancer without some right-click damage, and they are a bit lacking in that department. They are pretty nuke and spell-based. We could see some ward-on-ward action, and that's one way to clear them out, but it's a very long cooldown ultimate. For that Shadow Shaman, it's very passive right now. There's not a whole lot to talk about. If we look at the gold graph, pretty even. The XP graph, the Dire are leading the way on both counts. I had the lead in terms of experience earlier, but they've struck back 13-6. Huge dive here for Icy. This is a big overextension. I feel like tsuwamon is maybe just desperate to make something happen for his team, as he's done so many times. He's going to get picked off. Oh, the shackle not going to latch, but down he goes. A pretty big waste. The fight's not over yet. That's a really fast chicken. Chan, he's looking to get away. I think he will escape. The King once again. Somehow he always seems to find himself in these 5-on-1 situations. There's the ward. There's the stun. I believe it's a ward trap. Echo Slam as well. They're fighting under the Death Prophet ultimate. There comes the Queen of Pain. Will they actually be able to bring anyone down? Down goes the Death Prophet. There's a lot of damage out the window. Chan has that blink available. He is going to clean up. And suddenly another fight. The WE is just crushing through. tsuwamon is just, he's trying too hard to make something happen for his team right now. He really is.
I have to agree. They're getting desperate when they don't have to be desperate. They were still well in this game. They were only slightly behind, and that was just simply because they've got a few more items on World Elite with the mech up on the winner. They've got their arcane boots. They've got a fairly tanky Slider who's about to have enough gold for a blinker, although he may just try rush the BKB. We'll see which he wants to go for. And Queen of Pain, who's also getting closer to a BKB and has a bit of an XP lead. So the XP graph is looking a bit bad here, but AEON, they need to realize they don't have to make anything completely crazy like that happen, and tsuwamon just getting caught out. They are going to almost get this winner, and DK going to get Surge. Does not want to go in too far, as winner will be okay for that one. And AEON here just regroup again. Wait till they have their ultis. The Serpent Ward's in 40 seconds. DK ulti in 30. Death Prophet ulti in a bit less. But once again, they just cannot overextend like this. They need to get up that Darkseer wall of replica probably fairly soon, which he can now get maybe at level 11, level 12. He's got only 2 in Surge, but he just really needs that ultimate.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like the skill build. I generally like to see a Darkseer get 2 points in his ult by level 11, so at 10 and 11. Maybe only a single point in Surge, maybe only 3 points in Vacuum. It means with this build, it's going to take him a little bit longer to get involved, and the fact that he's dying is really not helping him in that regard. He has not made any progress towards that pipe. The Kane, he is going for a BKB, but it's not going to be the fastest BKB. I want to say at this point in the last game where we saw AEON run the Death Prophet on the DK, they had both BKBs either up or mostly completed. This time around, they're so far behind in terms of that item progression for what they're used to, and I feel like that's why they're forcing it, because they know they've gotten those items up this quickly. Like, this is when they started really pushing hard in previous series, but they have to recognize it's not the same game. They're not in the same position they were, and so they have to, you have to be patient, which is World Elite has shown great patience throughout this series, every step of the way. Windrunner is charging in. She went for a shackle shot. But no, actually, she blinked dagger on Slaughter, picked up. The Kane is going to get focused down. There's the vacuum. Nice surge away. The Kane might live. He is taking a lot of poison damage here. He probably will go down. He will go down. And Crystal Maiden getting caught out again. World Elite getting pick-off after pick-off. Shadow Shaman wards were dropped. And he didn't get a single kill. And AEON is just falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, this is sad to see, and such an important match, and AEON just not playing their full potential, but crumbling under the pressure. But that's what it comes down to when it's a tournament of this caliber. Because the next matches you play, if you do qualify, are going to be at LAN in Seattle, where the pressure is going to be 10 times more, and it's going to be the competition also 10 times harder. So you've got to play your best here, and that's why only the top teams will make it through. And it looks like we may have an all-Chinese final with World Elite and Tongfu getting there, although AEON, we'll see if there's anything left in the tank. They still have their options. They're not completely... It's not like that situation game 2 where they're down 4 Raptors. They still have tier 2 towers up. They've got their barracks up. They're going to be up against World Elite, who are going to get even further ahead with a Roshan here. They're going to start getting their BKBs, which is going to make it very hard for AEON to fight. But AEON, I mean, if they can just stick together, get that wall of replica up more than anything. I mean, Darkseer, still no wall of replica and still no pipe up. tsuwamon just needs to catch up a bit on that farm and levels.
Yeah, we've been saying this, I feel like we've been saying this for 5 minutes now, and still they continue to get picked off. And it goes back a lot to World Elite support heroes who have not gotten much discussion in the series because there's just been too much action, too many big plays by the carry players and, sort of those, even the gankers to talk about. But look at the wards by World Elite. They are so consistent every game. Fantastic vision of everything that AEON wants to do. Every time they go for Roshan, there are always wards in position. Plague wards on the high ground. I mean, sure, it might be boring to watch a team with this much vision. Warding is not the most exciting thing in the world to talk about, but it really is the cornerstone of a successful strategy. Whether you want to be aggressive or sit back and and build your advantage, either way, you need good vision to do it. And against AEON, a team that relies on aggression, relies on pickoffs, these wards are definitely a major component of why World Elite is winning this game.
Yeah, and we are going to have a Death Prophet just, not having quite enough farm to deal with it. I mean, this is just one of those things. The BKBs is just going to make it almost near impossible to fight, and they're going to get maybe another pick up here. Crystal Maiden caught out, and that's a dead Crystal Maiden as Darkseer watching on, realizing there's not much he can do to help out there.
We've seen this movie before, Gods. We know how it ends. Every time Nuts is off on his own warding, he's busy getting picked off, and again, it's not just about having the wards in the right locations, it's also about placing them with your team. If you go off on your own to ward, it's very easy for you to get picked off, especially on Crystal Maiden, out of all supports, perhaps the very squishiest in the game. Because not only because of her low base armor, as well as her low HP to start off with, and her low strength gain, but also her base movement speed. 280 base movement speed on that Crystal Maiden. Just so easy to bring down for any lineup, and especially World Elite's lineup. The Blink Dagger on the starter, the Queen of Pain with her Blink, and speaking of that Queen of Pain, a BKB is completed on her, and of course the Windrunner 4-staff mechanism. Already, all of these heroes are just so big. I'm not sure I'm not sure what they can do at this point. I mean, it's really up to World Elite to make mistakes, and if there's one thing we've seen about World Elite, they don't make many mistakes. They may fall behind, they may get outplayed, but they're not going to get really sloppy like a team like AEON has been prone to do from time to time. Ken, speaking of slopping, he's going to get caught out, and Ken is going to go down again. Are we going to see any sort of a counter kill? There's the Fissure. World Elite always in the right place. Right side vacuum onto the high ground, but still, it's not going to matter too much. Ken is going to go down, unstoppable. I'm not actually sure who got the kill. It's not showing me in-game, but tsuwamon also going to get picked off. Desperately, AEON filing one by one to try and protect their core heroes, and unfortunately, one by one, they are getting picked off.
And we'll see the 4 stuff down. There we go. Venomance will be okay. Oh, it's his TPing as well. Looks like he didn't necessarily need to, though he is going to be the one taking over that top lane. And as you said, AEON just falling apart, getting picked off one by one. They're all, to me, it seems that they all realize they need to get up these big items, but they're just doing so in ways they wouldn't if they were 100% focused, playing their best Dota. They would not be getting picked off like this. They'd find the smarter places of farm. Their map awareness is just not quite there this game. And I mean, you can see Death Prophet getting closer and closer to a BKB. All these heroes, Death Prophet, DK, they're all just missing one component for their BKBs. And it's just really a bit of a struggle for them at the moment to get those up.
Yeah, but at this point, I feel like the BKBs are going to be less and less impactful, especially because you've got a Slaughter with a Blink Dagger, as well as an Earthshaker with that long-range Fissure, the Shackle Shot too. So many ways to prevent it here from popping the BKB. And unlike last game, where World Elite would often get caught out, there's no Chen to save the day. There's no hero that can send Swo back to base. There is Surge on Darks here, but WE have a lot of stuns. They don't have many slows. They're not relying on those slows for pickoff. So even if they get the BKBs, are they actually going to get them off? And even if they get them off, it's a lot of right-click damage from W, even with these utility items up on the Queen of Pain and Windrunner, the sheer levels they have going their way. They hit pretty hard, especially with that Slaughter to amp up, with that amplified damage. It makes everyone hit just a little bit harder, and that does go through BKB. And finally, all of them grouped up. They want to get a tier 2. World Elite has been very good at defending outer towers, but they're going to lose this one. The question is, will they overextend here? They're immediately going to back up. The pipe was used. Smoke was used as well. They want to go for a gank. Nice 3-hero Fissure there to start. Shackle Shot on 2 to follow. GG is really playing well in this crucial deciding Game 3. But actually, they're not going to go in. As I say, that blink in from the Slaughter, and Ken is in a lot of trouble. The Kane is going to TP out. Ken, will he get away? He is quite fast thanks to that Surge, but tsuwamon may be the one to play. Nice Dragon Tail. Good teamwork here from AEON. But as always seems to be the case, they just don't have the numbers. It's always WE with the numbers. Always, always, always.
Yeah.
And with Windrunner, Queen of Pain, with the 4 staff for the Windrunner, the Blink Dagger on the Slaughter, it is much easier for World Elite to be in the right position.
Yeah, that was just decisive play from World Elite. They were playing with confidence, whereas AEON, I mean, they had to retreat, but you can still retreat with confidence. That there was not that. They kind of were just panicking, surging around, using spells, and not really sticking together as well as they could. And they still find themselves in a position where DK, 500 gold from his BKB. Death Prophet has finished his finally. King going to have that up, may be able to help them. I mean, this is one of those things. This is not this game, despite what is it, like an 8, 10k gold lead. Looking at an 8 to 9k gold lead, it's still not over. One team fight for AEON, and they can go push, take down the racks, and you can never counter a team with a Darkseer. I mean, we've seen Complexity do it. They've been behind by about 12 to 15k gold and win games with that hero. So it's a hero you cannot count AEON out with, and I have to say, we cannot just start getting too ahead of ourselves saying World Elite in complete control. Sure, they're a great late game team. Sure, they do make great decisions once they get their heroes with farm, and when they get ahead, they don't sort of make those risky choices, but I've got to feel that AEON, they've still got something left, and they may still surprise us yet.
I sure hope they do, and if nothing else, it'll make this game go a bit longer. I really don't want the series to end just yet. There's so much more action ahead of us, or so I hope. They are going to group up mid. They really want to go for the racks here. Are they going to go high ground? They do have the pipe. They have the BKBs picked up on the DK and the Death Prophet. They could do a lot of damage to the racks. Maybe not bring it down, but force some TPs back. Pipe is popped, a very preemptive pipe, I have to say. Not even near the high ground, and if you're WE, the wall dropped prematurely as well. I don't think they're using these ultimates properly. The Fissure, the Blink in, the BKB from the Slaughter, they're trying to focus down Ken. Death Prophet is doing a lot of damage here, though, and it might be enough. He's going to focus down Icy. Slaughter in some trouble. Slaughter will go down, but he's the one with the Aegis. Monster kill on this Windrunner. Mr. Keo getting caught out. Tower shot piercing through. 2 heroes down. They still have the Death Prophet and the DK. Those are the crucial heroes, but the King gets picked off. The Death Prophet in a lot of trouble. She will go down. There's their 2 crucial heroes gone, and tsuwamon dropping the wall there, that was not the correct choice. You have to use that combination, but a nice vacuum, a cheeky vacuum onto the high ground, so at least he may survive. Actually, it looks like he won't. Oh, the Surge coming out, the bash, and the right clicks, down he goes. A team win. Or no,
Or yes, he's a bit
Nuts got
stuck.
out.
He's going to have to fly at a TP or something here. But, I mean, that was not an atrocious fight for AEON. They got 3 kills on... Well, they killed Winrunner, Venno, and Queen of Pain. They also got rid of the Aegis on Slide. If Slide didn't have Aegis, that would have been an entirely different fight. I think that fight went alright. They got the tower down to half HP. And if that wall had been held a bit longer so that they could hit more of the World Elite heroes, combo it immediately with a vacuum to hit 3 or 4 heroes, that would have been a fight which AEON could have come out on top of. And I think they're going to realize, they're going to see that fight and say, okay, we lost, I think they got team wiped, or at least lost 4 heroes. I believe it was a team wipe, but they still killed 3-4 heroes and only lost the fight because of a Queen of Pain buyback and Slada having the Aegis. So they're still going to be pushing on relentlessly for the next sort of 5-10 minutes to try and make something happen. If they don't get a Rax in the next 5-10 minutes, so that's when I'm going to start thinking maybe they're out of this game.
Well, they have to wait for their ults to cool down. The Death Prophet ult is back up. Ken is not level 16, and Dragon Knight does become a completely different hero once he has that level 3 ultimate. So maybe they'll look to wait for all of their core heroes to hit level 16. The Death Prophet is very close. Ken still has a ways to go. I'm not sure if they can wait long enough for him to get it. He may have to get that through some hero kills. Look at Icy. Actually, this is the first time I've seen him go off on his own to ward like that. Very dangerous decision. He did not de-ward either before doing so, but he's going to get lucky, and he's not going to be caught out. AEON have no vision on the map at this point. Not a single ward to their name, and Nuts not even any wards purchased. Last time we saw, when that team fight broke out, WE did a bit of a wraparound. So if you're AEON, I think you need to get some more vision on. Maybe a ward to the right or to the left of the ramp here. Just give yourself some idea of how WE are positioned, because they do have really strong initiation. Icy, he's going to be in the middle of the entire enemy team if he wants to. He can drop poison over anyone. Again, a very early pipe by AEON. They can do a decent amount of damage. FNTY blinks him, but he's hexed immediately. No BKB pop from him. There he goes. He gets the BKB off. He's still going down very quickly. Mr. Keo is going to go down. Big ult by Sean. tsuwamon all the way out of the wall. It doesn't seem like it's doing quite enough at this point, but the King is doing a lot of damage. And GG in some trouble here. Will he be able to get away? Chan in the back lines picking off these supports. He's picked off 2. The wards were not dropped. Unfortunately, in that fight, they were not able to get them off. While AEON is holding on here, getting some kills here there. They're not actually breaching or threatening Rax at the moment. The King, they get another kill with that Dragon form, and now Ken is level 14, closing in on that level 3 ult. The wall was used. All the big ults were used again. Roshan is about to respawn. And with all the big ults used, WE may do what their favorite thing in the world, which is go directly into Roshan and get another Aegis for their slaughter.
Oh yeah. They have taken so many Roshans throughout the entirety of this tournament so far. I mean, since Wednesday, I've probably lost count of how many times they've just taken down Roshan. Probably be up near about 20 Roshan kills for them throughout it's probably about, I don't know, they've had 3 or 4 best of 3s now. And they're just... They love Roshan. They just love the security it brings them, and it's the one time when they actually feel confident to maybe try push. Although, as we saw last game with 4 Raxes, a cheese, and just having a max out Morphin, even then they were still very reluctant to do so, just because they want to make sure they're not taking any risk whatsoever when finishing off a game. And they're one of the teams who, I think they have a great late game decision making, except they are a bit unsure how to end the game. They won't make mistakes in choosing their fights. It's just there's some fights they can choose which would have been alright.
Well, actually, Roshan's just respawned, but all the ults are back up for AEON. I felt like they were going to have to wait a little bit longer. As I said, even the Darkseid wall, yes, it is up. They have everything ready to rock and roll. And W, will they have that fantastic vision? Indeed, they will. Look at this ward over here in the middle. Again, the wards for WE just so strong, and they may actually not be able to go for Roshan. In fact, they definitely will not, because AEON are grouped up mid. They're going to go for a push, and GG going for that sort of side swipe action. He's looking for a shackle. He's forced to pop Windrun. He's got an ultimate orb up. No hex for him. And WE, again, they're trying to go for these kind of they're trying to flank AEON, basically. They don't want to go in from the high ground. Stun on FNTY to start, but he's got BKB. Really not the correct hero to focus. An early pipe, again, from AEON. I feel these pipes are just much too early. You need to save them until you're actually going high ground. Shackle shot on 2 heroes on the Kane and Ken. Those are the 2 most important heroes. They do get 1 BKB off the Ken. Ken will be able to pop his. He finally pops it, but is it too late? He will be worked down, and Ken is the only strong damage dealer left. He's doing a lot of damage, though. Echo Slam from Lau, locking Ken in place. Ken is still alive. All he's got is Darkseer to help him. And AEON, they just keep on beating their head against the brick wall that is WE's defense. Time after time, early pipes, not the best walls. And I think finally W will be able to claim the second Roshan. They've been maneuvering about it for the last couple of minutes, and now it looks like they're going to get it.
They're so resilient. They just have such a great stronghold. It is like Helm's Deep. It cannot be breached. And we are going to see With this Earthshaker with an Urn, they can just keep on healing themselves after a big team fight. They're suddenly all full HP again, and that means they can just go right into Roshan. They do lose Slana, but hey, for those 4 kills, it is well worth it, and they do once again hold off the defense, not even losing the tier 3 tower. And that was like attempt number 3 on the World Elite base, and just still, every time they're only getting a bit of damage, just chipping away at this tier 3 tower. No real luck for AEON. And this is just a bit of a worry.
I almost feel like AEON's on autopilot right now. It's like they're not really trying to think about the situation. They're just sort of blindly charging down mid, going for the Rex. I mean, you know, mechanically using their skills and their items quite early, whether it's the wall, the pipe. I mean, those are the 2 I've questioned the most this game. But just also the general decision making. I mean, there is still a tier 2 up bottom. There's still one up top. Maybe those are towers they should have gone for much earlier in this game. They generally, when you see a push lineup, they get all 6 outer towers, then they go for Rex. Unless they have some sort of a crazy advantage or they win a huge team fight, they have an Aegis up. Generally, it's a bit more methodical with the push lineup, and AEON are normally a more methodical team. I feel like it's uncharacteristic, but here's something slightly different. They're gonna smoke up. I think it was spotted by this ward on the high ground. They did it right. It was sort of like, I think 1 or 2 heroes were down the river, and the rest were up on the hill. WE appear to be positioned as though they know the smoke is up. I'm not positive, but either way, they are delaying the Roshan attempt for now.
Yeah, and that's the key thing here. We're actually power shotting through just to make sure they're not there, and that kind of reveals, I think King would have spotted out that power shot. No, King actually going to reveal himself at mid, starts attacking, and it looks like the smoke about to wear off. AEON knocking out to make much happen, and here comes the initiation from starter. Shackle shot! What a long-range shackle shot! I cannot believe my eyes, but massive combo coming in. Death Prophet and Shadow Shaman immediately locked down, and even with this nice Darkseid wall of replica, I don't think AEON can win this fight. They've already lost 2 key heroes, make it 3, they lose 4, and only getting a Venomancer with the wards and the wall of replica. What a big fight, and World Elite. They could either push forward or just go for Roshan. They haven't taken any tier 2 towers, so pushing will be a bit slow here. I think we'll just see them get Roshan here and just solidify this lead. But what a insane shackle shot that was.
I think that's the longest shackle shot I've ever seen in my life, except for, I mean, sometimes you'll see like a hero, I don't know, get 4 stabbed after they shackle shot, then visually it looks longer, but in terms of actual latch distance, that was just absurd, man. I mean, if you're AEON, you know, and it's like every little thing that World Elite needs to go their way seems to be going for them, but you have to credit them. They know when to initiate, and although they are generally a passive team, in this game, they have chosen their spots very, very wisely, and with that shackle shot, with that big fight going their way, it's now a Scythe of Vice onto the Windrunner. This is a Windrunner absolutely farmed out of control. GG, 133 CS. The CS is not that amazing, but 11-3-9. Participated so many kills, and it goes back to the draft. Windrunner, Queen of Pain leading the board here for WE, and these are not just numbers. They have been playing exceptionally well, hitting their ults all game long, hitting the shackle shots, really making all of their spells count. The item pickups have been great, and this is why, you know, when we see teams give away this combination, especially in Asia, it's just a tough combo to deal with. It really is.
Oh no, 100%. You just do not. It's in the mid game, especially when you're picking heroes. Like the Darkseer and the DK, both being middle heroes. You've got the Surge to help maneuver around, but ultimately, one lockdown spell like a Shackle Shot, and you can set up a kill. It's just such a great initiation. It's similar to, I mean, in some ways, it's like a Pudge that isn't a Pudge. It's just a reliable initiation. You wait till you hit a big Shackle Shot, and then you can go in. Or if you get one, it just wins you a team fight. And winner over a Pudge has just so many more laning advantages. It doesn't suffer in the lane. It beats most heroes in 1v1 matchups. It can go against a tri-lane. It's just so damn freaking versatile. And this entire World Elite lineup has just played so well and just been used to great effectiveness. I mean, the Veno support, he's managed to pick up a pipe. Earthshaker's got his Blink Dagger. They've just all managed to get some decent items up. Just great farm distribution, and none of these heroes being left behind. And here we go. This could be the crushing blow. They do find Fanti, and he does not have all too much. Apart from this Aegis, he may have to go down and respawn, but DK in the front lines, that wall is going to prevent World Elite from chasing too much, but they don't seem to care. They're trying to avoid it, and DK going to go down to a Queen of Pain ulti. Wicked 6 streaks. Slider still taking damage from the Deathbolt ultimate. Will go down. There's your Aegis though, and still Deathbolt doing a lot of damage with that Exorcism as ES, Blink, ulti. They're going to get the Darkseer. They're probably going to get Death Prophet as well, although ES will go down for his troubles. It looks like we're going to have a 3-for-1 trade as World Elite once again out-position themselves, and just more than anything, just outlasting. I mean, even if Aeon are in a good position there, they just can't win a fight against the farm, the items, and the Aegises that World Elite have at the current point in time.
It's always the slaughter in first, and in that case, Aeon tried to focus him down. I believe that wasn't all on the bottom lane. Looks like Mr. KO is going to go down here. Will he at least get the Windrunner? They finally killed this pesky Windrunner, but she doesn't have a gem or anything like that, so... Oh, actually, I think she did. Slaughter pick it up. Either way, not the biggest kill in the world. Still a 4 for 2, if you want to call it that. It's a good trade. Another good trade for World Elite, who continue to rack up the kills, rack up the farm. 43 to 16. Boy, this game felt a lot closer than that earlier on, but World Elite have slowly but steadily, with those incremental advantages, winning just by a little bit. Hero surviving with 10 HP. A little bit of luck, a lot of skill, some really great positioning. And slowly but surely they are pulling away with this one.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with that decision, and that statement. As right now, I mean, they're just going to wait till they respawn here. If they really want, they can just wait till their best friend has respawned once again, which is Roshan, as they no longer have that Aegis. But Slados are going to finish off that heart, and with that, I think that pretty much acts as an extra life for him, just by the amount of HP and survivability it does give him. And he's sitting on 5k gold. So all of World Elite just getting ridiculously farmed and looking ridiculously strong. And they're going to be a tough opponent for Tongfu if they do end up winning this game, I have to say. I mean, with this slow and steady pace, something that Tongfu may have to sort of adjust to. Tongfu, who have been playing a bit more aggressive, but still playing with hard carries.
Well, we've seen Tongfu slow and steady, and that is a How anti-mage that just gets all of the items. So, I mean, if Tongfu have to switch up their approach, they're definitely a team capable of doing it. So I think no matter which team ends up winning this game, Tongfu will be the clear favorite in that series. They've been so rock steady, consistent, all winners bracket long, and now they're in the grand finals. They dropped the one match, and that was with a Pudge on their side. I mean, it feels like the only games that Tongfu loses, aside from the games against Zenith, they lost those, but Zenith is one of the best teams in the world. Aside from that, the game that they lost, there's the manager standing in. They still had Lamb on the team. And they dropped the one game with the Pudge. So, I mean, have they really lost a straight-up game against an opponent in this tournament? I don't think so.
Oh, I mean, it's just so damn strong. And it's one of those things where I don't know who's going to be able to beat Tongfu. If anyone can, I would say it's going to be World Elite. I think it may go to 3 games, but we already saw Tongfu absolutely tear apart Aeon. Speaking of tearing apart Aeon, Starter has gone in with a BKB, Queen of Pain ultimate. There's your combo. Although it's only for a death pop, but using everything for one hero, they're still going to come out on top, because ultimately, none of these World Elite heroes can really be taken down. There's just not enough DPS coming from Aeon. They've lost 3, they've lost 4 now. DK gets taken out with the help of that amp damage, and now Slater blinking up to the high ground. They're just going to regroup with their creep wave, take down these serpent wards, and take out the T2 tower. Probably push on forwards, look for a Rax here. And with 47 to 16 kills, this could be it. This could be the end of Aeon, with now a almost 20k gold lead as well for World Elite.
It's been such a long ride for Aeon and this tournament. They've had a lot of very long games and long series. I was dazzled by their Game 1 performance with that Pudge, and I felt like they must have been on top of the world after winning that game. I mean, not just the Pudge, of course, but the orchestration of that entire game, from the strategy to the picks, the aggression. They looked so confident, off the backs of that game. I expected maybe they just dominate World Elite in Game 2. I mean, that was a game that they won with flair and style, but World Elite have really shown their resilience in this series, and not just in-game with how difficult it is for them to... not just in-game with how difficult it is to actually breach their defense, but, emotionally as well, to lose a Game 1 like that against a hero like Pudge, who... frankly, it was kind of a humiliating loss to get hooked time after time. To keep on getting picked off, it was a Dagon Prophet, which is almost a tiny bit gimmicky. You do see it occasionally in pro games, but it was a Dagon Prophet against the Anti-Mage, and still, in the end, in spite of all of those emotional obstacles, World Elite never faltered here. They fell behind at times early in the game, but when it mattered most, they have really been solid. They take one set of racks. It's not quite over yet, but it's certainly looking like this game may be out of reach for Aeon. No item progression on any hero, and it's been that case for about 20 minutes now.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of heroes. I mean, that's like a plate mail on Death Prophet or Darkseid, just giving them some survivability, some way of helping to deal with that amp damage from Slater. Slater didn't actually buy the heart. He did get that Assault Crest, but still, it's just... Whatever World Elite go now, they're just getting ridiculous amounts of farm on. Queen of Pain, 3.4k gold. I mean, it's all the items just reflect so much where the gold graph is currently sitting, which is going to be almost a 25k gold lead. And that's 50k to 76k. It's just massive. And World Elite they played really well, I have to say. They haven't always been. This sort of sums up their play a lot. They haven't always been the most exciting team. That game one was amazing, and World Elite had to play some aggressive Dota in return because of what AEON did, but that was largely because AEON set a very fast tempo that World Elite had to react to. But we'll have to see what the finals will bring. Tongfu versus World Elite does have the potential to be a sort of typical Chinese Dota matchup, or we could see something a bit more exciting. I think at least one or two of the games will be something more fast-paced.
Well, Tongfu is definitely a team that has shown they can be very versatile with their pace. I mean, we've seen them win really aggressive, fast games. We've seen them farm up with anti-bait. We've seen them go for push. We've seen them go for gank. They're comfortable pretty much doing anything. They're one of the most complete teams, not only in this tournament, but really in the entire Asian region and perhaps the world. So if pace is varied, Tongfu can do it. The question is, can World Elite win a fast game? They haven't really shown an ability to do so in this tournament. What they have shown is an ability to slow down the pace of the game, both through their hero picks, their item selections, and their play style. And if they can keep up that pace, then they'll be fine. If Tongfu can go for a fast pace, I don't know if World Elite will be able to keep up, because Tongfu they're like a machine at times, just so consistent. Any slight mistake that you make, and even a team like World Elite will make mistakes here and there, Tongfu always seem to punish those mistakes, and they do it in spades. Earthshaker kind of bad position here, to be honest. I'm not sure why he's in the front lines. Also not sure what Slaughter is doing. He's going to go jungle. World Elite seem to be having a bit of fun with this one.
He wants his heart. I don't even think this is having fun. I think this is World Elite just playing this as safe as possible. I mean, the way they see it is this is just a one-racked advantage. That's something which at 43 minutes, often you'll see comebacks from, but really, this is not something they can turn it around. And we will see a heart being picked up by Slaughter now, as that is going to be probably World Elite looking to push.
Well, this is going to be a Slaughter with about 3.5k HP, as well as 29 armor. Good luck killing this guy. That is a pretty scary snake, man. And AEON, they're waiting to die here. As I say that, they are going to smoke, but they smoke. This just shows how tired they are. They smoke in front of a dire ward. I'm not sure if it was actually spotted. Most likely was. Perhaps it was not. GG is going to pop the Windrun. He's got the 4-staff available if he needs it. Is he going to drop that 4-staff? No, he's going to run right into the enemy team. I'm not sure what he's thinking here. They're going to get a pick-off here at GG. But while this is happening, Roshan will be initiated upon. No more smokes available for AEON from the looks of it. They are going to be forced back. They get a pick-off from the Windrunner. But with the Aegis and the Cheese going... Oh, look how fast that Roshan dropped. I looked away for 10 seconds. There's an Aegis on your Slaughter. 3,400 health. Make it 6,800, as well as that 29 armor to work with. I don't think they were going to kill him once. They're definitely not going to kill him twice. Windrunner actually buys back. Just had enough gold for it with that Roshan kill. And now they're going to go push in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and it looks like Venomancer or someone's got an Ag Scepter. It could actually be the Queen of Pain, has an Aghanim Scepter flying out. So you can just start spamming that ultimate on creep waves, heroes, whenever you want to. It does now have that 30 or 40 second cooldown. I always forget. One of the two. But it's just absolutely ridiculous, World Elite's gold lead right now. And I think AEON don't even realize quite how bad the situation they are in, because they see it as just maybe a one-racked advantage as well. But realistically speaking, the Aegis, the Cheese, and this amount of item progression on this dire side is going to be a near impossible team fight for them. Unless they get that perfect Darkseer wall, it's all about the wall. The more farm the dire heroes are, the more damage their illusions are going to do. So Darkseer is the one hero you want to have in a late game against this. And Death Prophet has a Seaver's Guard, so we'll see if they can hold here. Mid lane, looks like DK going to be picked off. There's your amp damage. There's your BKB from Slaughter, and just right putting him down with the aid of that Sheepstick. Even surged up, they lose DK, and now you've got your 5v4.
Yeah, and the 5v4, it's really not a 5v4, like you said, it's a 7v5. With that Aegis and the Cheese. Oh, blinking again from the Slaughter. Shackle shot, it's gonna latch again. Just one more. Rubbing it in on AEON is World Elite, and tsuwamon can do nothing but run away. There's your wall, but is it really enough? Doesn't look like it is. They're taking a lot of damage from the Death Prophet roll, but again, the Aegis is still up. The Cheese is still up. It's a 5v2, and those two are Darkseer with no wall. A Death Prophet result has already been popping up for a little while, and Slaughter doesn't care. He's gonna go in. There's the vacuum away. Echo Slam on some creeps. They just want to break through this base. Are they gonna be able to do so? And I guess they might hold for now. No, here comes Slaughter. The Death Prophet ult is over. There's your damage. Your DPS for AEON down the drain, and a blink in again. It looks like the king will finally go down, even with that Shiva's guard, just not big enough. This slaughter is so huge. I think that was the second BKB of the fight. That's how long that engagement was. Finally, WE break the defense and perhaps the spirits of AEON. 2 sets of racks ahead, no buyback on Death Prophet, no ult even if she had it. And I think this is your GG.
I have to say, I have to agree. This is it. This is the end of the road for AEON. They put up a great fight. They made it through the winner brackets, beating MSI. Beating in the second round was Dustbin. They beat MSI. They beat Dustbin before losing to Tongfu in the winner bracket finals. And here they are meeting World Elite in the loser brackets. A team who actually lost to Dustbin back on day 1 when they weren't looking to be in that good a form. But this is the end for AEON unless they can make something happen here. DK going to go in with the BKB. Stun down on Slaughter. They have gotten rid of his Aegis, but it is not going to be enough to keep their tier 3 tower alive, and they're not even taking any of these heroes down. Pipe has been used as well, so Radiant side AEON just going through the motions here, just enjoying their last few minutes, and just, I don't know, this is just where you're just sort of, they're probably just sitting there in silence looking at each other, knowing it's over, but not wanting to say it, not wanting to sort of admit the truth.
Well, you said that you mentioned that this team did lose to Dust, but we're just going to see a little more Wombo combo here. Some more heroes being picked up. I mean, at this point, it doesn't really need to be cast just because of how one side is. Ken goes down. There's 3 kills, and with that, the third set of racks. Well, there's your Mega Creep. Yeah. The Throne in a lot of trouble. To go back to what you were saying, they did lose to Dustbin, but this is a different team in my book. I look at this World Elite, I don't see that World Elite that lost to Dustbin. Not only did they beat them today, they really smacked Dustbin around, and Dustbin is a very strong team. AEON looked a lot stronger this series. When they had the tempo they wanted, they really were able to outplay WE, but unfortunately it was WE able to set the tempo in 2 out of the 3 games, and that's really all it took. It maybe goes back a little bit to that dire advantage. I mean, every game, I mean, you said you think they've had the most Aegises and Cheese by far out of this tournament, and whether or not that's technically true, it certainly feels that way. I mean, I feel like every time I cast World Elite, it's just guaranteed they're going to have at least 4 or 5 Agi, as well as a couple of Cheese going their way.
Yeah.
And
I would
that
love
advantage,
to see a stat for that.
Yeah, I really would.
Number of Aegises a team like World Elite have gotten compared to AEON or even Dustbin aren't a team who particularly like to use it. I mean, Tongfu do it a bit whenever it's possible, but they won't. They'll end the game when they can. They won't be relying on Aegis to do so. Well, I feel a little deflated, Gods. I was hoping for a slightly more back and forth game. I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for AEON. I really like their aggression in game number 1, and any team that picks a Pudge is a winner in my book. It takes a lot of balls to do that, but in the end, World Elite, they are the more stable team. They were the more consistent team in this best out of 3. That's why it's a best out of 3, because you really want to see which team has the stamina. And in the end, WE take it 2-1. That's your final game of the day for the East Qualifiers, but we're not done with East Qualifier action, guys. Tomorrow, we have the Grand Finals. It will be an all-Chinese affair. World Elite facing off against the undefeated Tongfu, who dropped a single match to Mythtrust, who picked the Clinks early on. But aside from that game, and that was with a Pudge on Tongfu, do not expect to see a Pudge picked by Tongfu versus World Elite. They look pretty much unstoppable. If anyone can take them down, it probably will be this World Elite squad, who look pretty damn strong.